24-25 Premier League season for Arsenal has been one of many ups and downs. Now, I'm not saying it's been all doom and gloom. We're sitting second right now. We're definitely, I think we're going to finish in the Champions League, and I'm more confident that we're going to finish in the Champions League positions. But when you think about the lofty expectations we had to start this season in terms of winning a Premier League title, it's ultimately fell a little bit flat, even though we're still in the Champions League, but we're playing Real Madrid. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, I think I've solved the issue, and I think Mikel Arteta has even found the issue as to how we can continue to get better in breaking down low blocks, something that has been the Achilles heel of this Arsenal team throughout the 24-25 season. We've seen in games like against West Ham, Everton at home, Fulham away, and many others throughout this season where low blocks have cost us games. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is Gunner Street, and I have all Arsenal content here on this channel. So if you like anything Arsenal related, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and join the family. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. What do you think about that first half, though, even though it was a tricky start?
Yeah, I mean, it was...
Breaking on the low block, Arsenal's biggest Achilles heel. We have to talk about the factors for one of our key creators in this team, and that's Martin Odegaard. What has happened to Martin Odegaard's form? Well, he's been injured to start the season, and then since coming back from injury, he hasn't really hit the heights and expectations of last season and the expectations of this season, what people expected from a top player like a Martin Odegaard. Whether that be down to injury, whether that's down to injuries for himself or others in the front line like a Saka or whoever, or lack of a striker, has led me to see a lot more deeper into Martin Odegaard's game. And me and KP, a friend of the channel, have been having multiple discussions about Martin Odegaard and the future of Martin Odegaard. And I think we finally come across the fact that Martin Odegaard is not your 10. I think he's more of an 8, more of a Pedri type midfielder, someone that doesn't really get the gaudy numbers of assists and the gaudy numbers of goals, but can dictate and control a game from deeper and really control how we move forward through the phases of the pitch, from the mid block into the final third and into goal scoring and creative opportunities. Yes, Martin Odegaard is a really good passer and a real clinical passer and a progressive passer, but maybe we could have a different use for Odegaard when different circumstances permit. No, I want to talk about the biggest factor as to why I think is causing us to not break down low blocks. And then not only is it the movement in front of Martin Odegaard in terms of a forwards, which is I think is a big key factor, but it's also ball progression. Ladies and gentlemen, ball carrying stats. Who has the highest average in Arsenal's first team squad? When I looked at it, on average it's Raheem Sterling, which is funny enough to think about how his form has gone at the club. But when I looked a little bit deeper at players who have started a minimum or played a minimum of 15 games for the Arsenal, it's Ethan Nwaneri. And it's really not even close. It's Nwaneri, followed by Saka, followed by Martinelli, who will play in around the 5 progressive passes per night, 5 progressive carries per 90 ballpark. When you're looking at ball carrying ability, Nwaneri has the ability to carry the ball forward. Physically, he's very strong, great balance, great technical ability, something that's been mentioned throughout his tenure. But when I've done my research to look at how we develop Nwaneri in terms of the youth progression, how Nwaneri and Mikel Arteta and his development staff have brought the pathline through for Nwaneri, has been very central around him becoming a creative player in that 10 position. So I think when we have Bukayo Saka coming back within a few weeks, hopefully he reaches his best attributes, Nwaneri has been playing off the right. I think taking him from the right and relegating him to the bench, I think just doesn't work. We even seen it when Odegaard went out with injury this season. We lacked creativity for many stretches of that period. Taking Nwaneri out of the team, who has since grown into this team, scoring 9 goals and assists in just a short space of time, you cannot drop him to the bench. You cannot relegate Nwaneri to the bench again. I don't think you should, unless we play these big European teams away from home. But I think Nwaneri goes straight into that 10. You drop Odegaard a little bit deeper, you play Rice as a 6, and then you play Nwaneri at the 10. I think that's the perfect solution. Nwaneri works really well. He has an eye for goal. He has a good eye for pass. He likes to dribble and take on the ball in those tight areas. I think this is exactly where Nwaneri will thrive. But even if you don't think Nwaneri is that type of profile, you want to really have him as a Saka backup. Again, Myles Lewis-Skelly, who has recently become an England international, getting called up in the recent England squad. Myles Lewis-Skelly has found his passion in this squad. He's found his role in this squad. And I know Arteta brought him through as a left back for maybe he could get minutes. But as a 10 to break down that low block, that ball carrying ability of a Myles Lewis-Skelly has been absolutely incredible for an 18-year-old player. If you look at his highlights, and you look, Lewis-Skelly might be the answer to Mikel Arteta's low block issue. The way he's able to carry the ball from deep, beat 2-3 players, draw fouls, it's absolutely incredible. And you can check the Man City goal. Even when he gets in and around the box, he's showing that he has an eye for goal. Weak foot finish in off the post. Myles Lewis-Skelly and Nwaneri have been a godsend for this Arsenal team through a season full of injuries, and we've needed them every single minute of what they've given us. And I think they could continue to grow in this squad, especially in that midfield 8 position alongside a Martin Odegaard. I think that's the future of that midfield 8. Because if we're going to continue to go up against low block sides, it doesn't make sense playing Partey, Rice, or Odegaard. I think that midfield is best suited for big European ties away from home or even at home where you're going to be up against it and you don't really want to risk it. But when you're playing against teams and you're going to control 70-80% of the possession, why not take a little bit more risk that needs to be taken? And I think with that risk, Mikel Arteta will unlock a lot from this Arsenal squad. Now, I know many may look to the market, many may look at signing a striker, but I think even with the striker, if we don't solve our creativity issues, Arsenal will continue to flounder. But let me know what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. This is Gunners Street. I have all Arsenal content here on this channel, so if you like anything Arsenal related, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and join the family. I post weekly, and I'll give you as much content as possible, and I'll try to be even more consistent as the days go on.